You're listening to Beyond Wellness Radio, bringing you the cutting edge in health, biohacking, and sports performance. Stay up to date and listen anywhere and anytime on your computer, tablet, or smartphone by subscribing on iTunes. Catch your host, Dr. Justin Marchegiani, as he answers your burning health questions as well as interviews from world-renowned guest experts. For more Beyond Wellness Radio, go to beyondwellnessradio.com.
Hey there, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani. Welcome to Beyond Wellness Radio. Feel free and head over to beyondwellnessradio.com where you can access our full podcast transcriptions. While you're there, you can also sign up for our thyroid and female hormone video series. This series goes into the root cause of why your hormones are out of balance. While you're there, you can also schedule a functional medicine consult with Dr. Justin, myself, where we'll dig deeper into the root cause of your health challenges. Feel free and think of sharing this podcast with at least one person. This podcast grows by people sharing it. Sharing is caring. If you can think of one person that can benefit from this information, please feel free and share it. If you're enjoying the podcast, make sure you subscribe on iTunes. You can also click below the video or podcast where you'll see the iTunes review button and leave us a review. You can also sign up for the newsletter at beyondwellnessradio.com where you'll get updates before anyone else. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Hey there, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani with Cavin Balaster. Really excited. Today's all going to be about brain health, not only brain health and brain performance. Calvin's got a very unique history where he's healed from a brain injury himself personally. So we're going to get the nitty gritty of what he's been able to do to heal, techniques. He also has a book that's out called Feed a Brain. And you can go to feedabrain.com to check out his book where he talks about optimal nutrition for brain and neurological health, increasing neuroplasticity, helping your brain work better. Calvin, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks so much, Justin. I got to correct you. It's Cavin without the L.
Oh, sorry, Cavin. I want to go Calvin. Totally it's cool. Like Calvin. Totally it's like that cool. Missing. Yeah, totally.
I've had people be like, "Hey, you misspelled your name." I'm like, "Oh man, I've been doing that all my life."
You're so smart. I know, totally, man. And I knew it was Cavin. It's just that, got it. Thanks for the correction. Good. So we got Cavin Balaster here. So let's dig in, man. Let's start out with your history. You have a really unique history. 2011, you had a TBI, traumatic brain injury. Is that true?
Yeah, severe traumatic brain injury, a severe diffuse axonal injury. And if you go on Google and type in diffuse axonal injury, you'll get source after source that all say 90% of patients with this injury never regain consciousness. And of the 10% that do, most are in a vegetative state.
Unbelievable that you were able to thrive. And I mean, you're functioning at a higher end. I mean, doing this kind of work, I mean, it takes brain power, and to come from where you were, 6-7 years ago to where you are now is amazing. And you're helping, thousands of people. So that's amazing. So what happened? So you had this fall, right?
So I had the fall. And like you said, first of all, I woke up, which is just, thank God, I feel privileged, fortunate, lucky, purposeful, but additionally, I'm looking into what I was doing to protect my brain. And I think, ketogenic style metabolism played into it.
Huge.
And I wasn't into nutrition at that point, but I wouldn't eat all day, so I'd probably enter into a ketogenic metabolism, but that's a whole nother story. Let me break down what happened. So I fell, I wake up from a coma. I didn't eat, walk, or talk for months. My left hand was totally flexed inward. I was breathing through a tube in my neck. I was receiving nutrition through a tube in my belly. And I got to put nutrition air quotes.
Right.
Maybe we'll come back to that. But yeah, the feeds they give you are just loaded with corn syrup and soy protein. And
probably all GMO too, right?
Yes, exactly. So, so a lot played into my recovery as I regained my everyday, my normal abilities.
And when you fell head first, right?
I hit my head on a steel scaffolding. I was on a rooftop water tower.
Yeah.
And I hit my head on the steel scaffolding on the way down, and I hit the back of my head on the concrete rooftop.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're coming to, you mentioned, okay, so now like walk us through, like, when were you like, okay, here's the conventional physical therapy path. Like, when did you start to deviate and starting to discover these natural therapies?
Awesome. Well, actually, my aunt was getting into functional neurology. She is a nurse practitioner, or sorry,
Yeah.
not neurology, functional medicine. She's a nurse practitioner, and she asked one of her colleagues. She told her that her nephew had sustained a severe traumatic brain injury. Where should he go? And her colleague was like, I know exactly who I'd take it to if it was my loved one, but he lives all the way in Austin, Texas. And my mother lives in Austin, and my mom was like by my side within hours and stuck with me through my 5 month hospitalization, and then brought me to her home in Austin to recover.
Wow.
So I was in Austin, and so that's where I started seeing a functional neurologist. And he introduced me to a
What was his
nutritional
name?
protocol. His name's Dr. Thomas Culleton.
Right? Yeah, I know Colton. He's great.
I love Culleton. Yeah, he's great. So,
Awesome.
So yeah, while I'm seeing Culleton, he puts me on a nutritional protocol, and again, nutrition wasn't on my radar at that point, but I was like, I'm doing whatever it takes to get better, and if I've been steered here, and he says change your diet, guess what I'm doing, And then
Totally.
I began seeing how much of a difference nutrition was making, and I was like, whoa, all right. So I dove into study. I began to research. First, I was learning what had happened because I'd been in a fog for almost a year since my injury, total brain fog. And so I started going through medical records, text messages, emails, like deciphering what happened. And then at the same time, why did nutrition make such a big difference? And how could I optimize my recovery? So that's where I went down a rabbit hole. I was studying like my life depended on it, because it did. And this is a common story with anybody who is hit with a debilitating condition, or with something that just changes everything. Guess what you do? You study like your life depends on it, right? And so here I am studying, and then at the same time, like, I'm learning how to walk at this point,
Right.
but we have the internet, and I'm able to reach people all over the globe that are doing things like you're doing, and reaching people all over the place from their homes when they're unable to go outside, and that. So I am so thankful of what you're doing, Dr. J.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I love the stories, the inspiration, because there's always someone out there, whether it's someone that got a TBI from a car accident or a fall like yourself, or sports, or just they're in a chronic brain fog because of their diet and inflammation. I think the principles that you use to help you recover are going to be at least a starting point for everyone. So you got hooked up with Cullerton. He did some of the neurological work with you. Was he doing some exercises, and was there any adjusting? What kind of therapies was he adding to his to your protocol to help get you healed up? And then we'll deal with some of the nutrition and supplement stuff later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, he was doing a lot of stuff, particularly with my eyes. And I was seeing a neurooptometrist. So one of the main things he did was, or one of the most pivotal things to my understanding that he did, was that he put me in he gave me a VNG, which is a Videonystagmography. Big words. Basically, you put on these goggles that videotape your eyeballs, and then he spun me in a chair. Because what happens when you're spun in a chair is you have what's called the vestibular ocular reflex. So your vestibular system and your visual system are very connected. So if I look at you and I shake my head, but I keep my eye on you, I'm able to do that because essentially when you turn your head one way, the vestibular ocular reflex automatically tells your eyes to move the other way, even if your eyes are closed with no visual stimuli, right? So it was really interesting. When I spun in a chair, my eyes barely moved, or they slowly moved the other way. And then what's supposed to happen is your eyes go the other way, and they kind of bounce back and forth while you have like two reflexes sort of battling it out. You have the vestibular ocular reflex, which wants to move in the opposite direction that you're moving. And then you have, you want to look straight, like your eyes want to continue looking straight. So it kind of bobbles back and forth. Mine slowly moved over to one side and didn't move. And so there was a problem with this very primitive neurological reflex. I mean, every mammal has this reflex. And I didn't have it anymore.
So he saw this reflex was missing. What was the next step?
So we started doing vestibular therapy. I actually began doing. Have you ever seen a Gyrus stem or some of the functional neurology equipment? So he didn't have a Gyrus stem, but this is what's cool. We can mimic a lot of the same effects. Because I got to the point where I was in much better health nutritionally, and I was doing aquatic therapy, and I was able to do a backflip in the pool. So he told me, he's like, you do aquatic therapy. Do you think you could do a backflip in the pool? Not a backflip like out of the water into the pool, right? Although I do that now. But at the time, like I would do it underwater, like just spin myself, because that would activate the semicircular canals and affect my brain and affect my eyes, which affect your brain. Like, in fact, you have 12 cranial nerves.
Right.
4 of those are dedicated to your visual system. 1/3 of your cranial nerves, 1/3 of the nerves that make up the output from your brain to your body are dedicated to these 2 little peepers. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So that's why your eyes are the window to your brain. We've heard the eyes are the window to the soul, right? The eyes are, from a neurological perspective, you can see so much about how the brain is functioning and how well it's interpreting the world through vision.
Yeah, we have our number 6 cranial nerve. That's basically controls the lateral rectus, eyes going out this way and this way. We have Dusins, right? We have the superior oblique, which is going to be down and in, and then the rest are the oculomotor.
So yeah, the trochlear nerve, what you were talking about, the superior oblique.
Yep.
That was what was partially damaged with me, and it's very common with brain injury. Fourth nerve injuries are very common because that cranial nerve actually wraps around your brain stem, whereas the other ones just kind of are straight shot. So it has more surface area to be damaged, and it's pretty common.
So what were the top 3 exercises that Carlton worked on with you that really had the best bang for your buck? Like, you started doing these, they become part of your routine. What really moved the needle for you on a exercise stimulation standpoint?
I mean, it's very specific to different patients. I'm actually here at Revive Treatment Centers in Denver, which is a functional neurology
awesome
treatment center. It's awesome. I love it here. That's where we got the spine over there.
Love it.
Yeah, and so
just a caveat for everyone. I know it's going to be 100% individualized for you, for your testing, but just for the listeners, we're not going to like list, people who are you having a brain injury, go see someone and get tested specifically. Yes. But I just want to know your pattern. What really moved the needle for you?
And honestly, if you want to learn more about functional neurology, check out my podcast. I interview all sorts of brilliant functional neurologists. It's the Adventures in Brain Injury podcast.
We'll put the link below, adventuresinbraininjury.com. We'll put the URL below. We'll put it in the show notes. We're also going to put feedabrain.com. So if you guys are listening and you want to access it, just click below in the description, either on YouTube or the podcast, and you'll see it there.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, and again, the Adventures in Brain Injury podcast, I came into this from a brain injury, but we are going way beyond brain injury. Right?
Totally.
Yeah. All right. So some of the exercises I did, first of all, the backflips in the pool, that really helped get my vision back together to a large degree. So I still have diplopia or double vision, but to a much lesser degree than what I did have. And my eyes team better, and my vestibular ocular reflex is better. And all of that seems like, yeah, it's your vision, like, I mean, what I said is like, when my mom started taking me to vision therapy, I was like, so I'll have to wear glasses for the rest of my life. Big deal. It's not like other people don't have to do that. She's like, we're doing it. And I was like, I need to learn how to run and relearn how to walk and balance and all this stuff. And she's like, we're going to vision therapy. And I am so glad she took me there, because again, your eyes lend so much to everything else when it comes to your brain. So, so there's a gem for you, like neurooptometry and functional neurology have to do with the vestibular rehabilitation, balance, and then affecting different modes and how do I say this? So, do you know vibration platforms? Are you familiar with using those?
One right over here in the corner of my home gym.
Nice. Yep, I have one as well. I actually got a vibration platform so that I could work with it every day, because your balance is so important as well. That's vestibular, right? And for many brain injury, many people with brain injury or any neurodegeneration or anything, they have trouble telling where they are in space and time. So, for example, me, Dr. Culligan said, put your feet together, stand up, and then close your eyes. And I did, and I like toppled over, right? Like just started falling. And he caught me and all that, right?
Yeah.
But then he and he was like, yeah, let's try putting you on a vibration platform and do it. And did it there, and I was able to stand. And the reason why is because
more input.
Yeah, more input, right? Your body keeps on getting, like, everything is firing and telling your brain, like, okay, this is happening over here. So that was part of the rehabilitation that was really important.
So the whole body vibration stuff, are there any specific exercises you're doing daily? Like, do you do any cardinal gaze stuff where you're following a finger, or do you do any of where you're following the red and white strips, the OPQ? Kind of OPK strip. Is there anything else that you're doing? What's your daily routine looking like from an exercise, a neurological exercise standpoint?
I really love that you know of most of these modalities that a lot of functional medicine docs are not aware of. Like,
I think it's important. Yeah,
I think it is so important, and I really love like how ahead of a lot of the times you are, and I'm hopeful that a lot of your listeners are as well. And I love being able to promote and spread this information so that we can help more people and affect our lives positively.
I love it.
So all of it was great. I tend to be extremely busy with things. So I tried to consolidate my therapy exercises.
Let's hear it. So how does it look?
So one of the things I do is a Brock string.
Yep.
Which basically you tie a string, you have some beads on it, and you bring it to your nose and you look at the beads, and what happens is your eyes focus on a spot, and it's so hard to explain this, and you see like two strings that go into the dot you're focusing on and then go out. And maybe you can put that in the notes or something, because I have been trying to explain that in a way that like most people understand, but most people look at me like, what the hell are you talking about? So
I get it totally.
Yeah, I do that. And then the rest of and no-nos as well. Like as I'm going down on that, as I'm like going up and down on the beads, so that I'm testing these different gazes, and I change my gaze a little bit. And the whole point is, if I can keep my gaze, if I can keep things single from whatever gaze, which I am unable to do, but that's what I'm working to be able to do, because vision lends so much to attention, and attention is everything.
You may benefit from brainhq.com. I actually
I've
got
heard
this.
of Brain HQ.
Yeah, I got this website from Tom Brady, not personally, but in his book. Tom, who's a famous quarterback for the New England Patriots, huge Brady fan, but he uses this for visual acuity, looking off receivers, being able to look across the field. So it's basically a computer program that involves things moving, and you look at the center, and then you pick up and you count.
Right.
You can download the app.
I've actually used. I just remembered. I've used Brain HQ. I was part of a study for the University of Pittsburgh, where I had my brain scanned with high definition fiber tracking, which is just an amazing technology. Basically breaks down the neurons and axon fibers into 2.4 millimeter cubed voxels or 3-dimensional pixels.
Wow.
So we can see where neurons start, where they end. So where these groupings of neurons, because 2.4 millimeter cubed is super, it's super high definition. However, we have 86 billion neurons in our brain. Totally. So each one of those has like thousands, but they get damaged in groups, and we can see so much with them.
So I'm just listening to some of the things you're saying right now, just to kind of break it up to people at home. I think vibration therapy, is great. If you have access to a vibration plate, I think using some of the Brain HQ applications are doing similar with some of the exercises that you're doing at home. So that's just 2 off the bat exercises that I'm just trying to give people that are listening at home things that they could do, maybe just to help. Anything else you want to add, or do you want to add to the Brain HQ stuff?
Yeah. So Brain HQ, I used it for a bit. It was cool. But it wasn't very specialized, and it wasn't as useful as some of the tools that I've seen out there, and that I've actually used myself, like even apps that you can download for free. I use
Which ones? Let's hear them.
So I use one called Elevate, which is great. Also, just to keep my brain sharp after my injury, I began doing Khan Academy type things. Khan Academy was great because it walks you through math from whatever place you are, and then moving up and up and up. And I began taking like SAT questions on my phone as well. So there's different aspects of neurological recovery, because the thing is, what you want to do to keep your brain sharp, or to improve your brain, or to rehabilitate your brain, is basically, if something's difficult, that's what you need to do.
Correct.
And I think of it like what you've been doing all your life, you've basically, it's a pathway that you've been using for so long that pathway is now like a 6-lane highway. And when you want to do something else, if you want to choose a different route, you need to go through the woods, right?
Totally.
And so you need some like motivation to go through the woods as well. And that's a whole nother book that I'm working on, actually, that's about finding motivation and the mindset you need beyond recovery, but to like for an optimal mind, using your brain and your attention and your emotions to your benefit, to bring about the outcome you're on for.
I love it. And what are some of the things that you're trying to accomplish at the Neurological Center up in Colorado this weekend?
So I'm actually out here on my way to LA to speak for the World Congress on Brain Mapping and Therapeutics.
Cool.
And I'm actually going to be bringing up some of the neuroimaging that I did at the University of Pittsburgh.
Great.
Because they scanned my brain in October 2016, and then again in July of 2017. And so we got a company. So so yes,
2016, you got the mapping done, and then what kind of plasticity changes have you seen since then?
Well, so Dr. Okonkwo over at the University of Pittsburgh, he said to me, he was like, we saw there were places in your brain that fell out of normal range in the first scan, And here in the next scan, we see them within the normal range. So I'm really excited. I'm actually working on getting the actual like scans to present, and it's kind of been a little tricky, but
because I remember we talked like maybe 3 years ago at one of the Paleo FXs, and I can see over the years you continue to improve. I could see with the eye, and then with the speech, it continues to get better and better and better. So there's definitely neuroplasticity that's happening year after year. So that must be really exciting for you, huh?
It's great. It's awesome. So what I'm doing at Revive is TMS, which is transcranial magnetic stimulation, HBOT, so hyperbaric oxygen therapy, Gyrostim, so like the backflips, only like on steroids with a adult-sized gyroscope. We're doing low-level light therapy, so cold lasers.
We do it over the area where you hit?
Yeah, over the area that's damaged. What's really cool is that I have neuroimaging to actually see where there's structural damage, and so it's really cool to be able to affect change with this.
Have you done any spec scans at all, like Dr. Dr. Amen does?
Right. No, I haven't actually.
Have you done any of the neurofeedback scans that Dr. Andrew Hill does?
I have not. No.
Okay, I'd be curious. I'm really well, I imagine those probably on your list. You got a lot of things that are in the queue, right?
If you want to make an introduction or anything, that'd be great.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think with your podcast and everything, it'd be great promotion to get you in there, and it'd be awesome to share your experience on the show. So yeah, I mean, if you let me know, I can get you connected with Dr. Andrew Hill. That's awesome. I would love to see that. Whatchamacallit, what's his name? Ben Greenfield just did something with Dr. Andrew Hill last year with some of the brain mapping stuff. So I would love to see you connect, because I think with your injury and then the healing process, I think it's great to see the healing happen over time.
Yeah. And I was just on Ben's podcast not too long ago.
Oh, cool.
And it was fantastic. Yeah, I really like that guy. And thank you so much for what you said about seeing my improvement.
Oh, it's night and day.
Nice. That's exactly what Michelle Norris says.
Oh, it's totally night and day.
Then she's seen me going through all this. And as far as the diet goes, like I was troubleshooting my dietary protocol for a long time, trying to find what was going to optimize my recovery. And as I figured it out, like there were definitely bad days where I'd be like, oh, that didn't work. And like, for example, paleo effects, like I'm totally guilty of getting a bunch of paleo junk food.
Oh, totally.
And going at it, right? And I think that's like a piece of the whole, like, people thinking, well, this is healthy because it's paleo. Well, no, not necessarily. Well, this is not necessarily at all, right?
Exactly.
This is healthy if it's healthy. Right.
A paleo treat, it's definitely better than going full on out gluten and stuff. But yeah, we got to keep it within the 80-20 or 90-10, whatever that percentage for you. So what's your diet looking like right now? Are you kind of a keto, paleo, really trying to get the therapeutic level of ketones up?
So yes, I think ketones are awesome. However, my book does not require a ketogenic diet at all, because really ketogenic metabolism, a lot of people aren't prepared to metabolize ketones, and to go on a strict ketogenic diet, it will screw up their adrenals. It can screw up their thyroid. Like there's a lot of things that there's some nuance that you need to be careful of. So the Feed a Brain protocol makes room for a ketogenic diet and helps you like move into it, because essentially what I did is I learned about a ketogenic diet and I tiptoed into it and slowly moved and saw how it felt, and like got my body used to metabolizing fat bit by bit. And when I was able to get to a therapeutic ketone level, like now it's like I very, very, very rarely eat grains. Like I'll eat grains as a treat, like you were saying, right? I keep an eye on my blood sugar, but I pretty much know what my blood sugar is like based on how I feel because I've measured so many times. So actually, I want to tell your listeners, like, one of the best things you can do for your health is monitor your blood sugar. And I have an article on my website.
I got my blood sugar meter right here, and I got a ketone meter over there too. Nice.
So feedabrain.com/blood sugar lays out like what the deal is with blood sugar. And yeah, I level. I actually use a level device for breath ketone analysis.
Okay, cool.
And that thing's like medical grade. They have me testing it out. I actually brought it here to Revive, and we're testing the ketones and seeing how my metabolism's doing as we go through things. So yeah, but as far as ketogenic goes, it's extremely neuroprotective, but your brain health is so dependent on your overall health. So when transitioning to a ketogenic diet, it's not healthy for your brain to just to be super keto when your adrenals are shutting down, so be careful, tiptoe into it. But yeah, I'm a huge proponent of ketogenic metabolism.
So give us a rundown. What's breakfast, lunch, and dinner looking like? And I also want to dive into how you apply fasting or intermittent fasting. I know there's some great benefits with the cellular autophagy, which is kind of cleaning up some of those damaged cells. So let's go into your diet. What's breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And then how are you applying fasting if you are?
Nice. So breakfast means break fast. So every night we're fasting, right? We fast for at least however long we sleep, and usually longer, like hopefully 8 hours at least, right? And then we break that fast. And a lot of people are so caught up on that breakfast foods need to be breakfast needs to be breakfast foods. It's got to be cereal or oatmeal or pancakes or bacon or eggs or Pop-Tarts, right? Or whatever, or fruit salad or whatever General Mills says I should be eating for breakfast, right? And so, yeah, my breakfast is usually grains with protein, like fish or like a cold water fatty fish, hopefully wild caught, or steak. I'll often have steak for breakfast.
So really good protein and fat, and you're really getting the fat in there too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Protein, so full fat meats.
Absolutely, yeah. Some days I'll also incorporate some heavily buttered drink, or I actually use ghee because I react to
the
milk
casein
fats.
and the lactose,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, so
kind of like a bulletproof coffee kind of thing, right?
Yeah, similar to that, right? And the whole point is just to get that to like stoke the fire with some
the ketones,
like wood, with some like heavy wood to build that fire instead of throwing kindling on it, which is what General Mills wants you to do.
Yeah, I've been using that analogy for a decade with my patients.
It's a great analogy.
It's like you got the fire, the wood that's the protein and fat, and then the more refined the carbohydrates go, the more it goes from twigs to paper to gasoline, which is like alcohol and refined sugar. Right. So yeah, I think that's really good. And then I imagine lunch and dinner kind of the same thing. Good meat, additional fat, full fatty cut, veggies. Is that kind of the gist?
You got it. Yeah. And as far as produce goes, I actually I separate into 3 different types of produce that I make sure I get. So dark leafy greens, colored, and sulfur containing. The 3 different types of produce I get. And then also seaweed and organ meats and cold water fatty fish I have as like a real deal superfood, and probiotics or fermented foods.
So that sounds like you've been listening to Dr. Terry Walls with the 3 areas. Is that correct?
Yes, Dr. Walls played a huge part in what it means to feed a brain. Absolutely.
Right.
I really, really, really respect her research and just who she is in general. I love her work.
Yeah, I was on a panel with her at PaleoFX maybe 3 years ago. She's great. That's awesome. All right, so we hit the diet, and then just kind of things like some people, they may have blood sugar instability, whether it's adrenal dysfunction or thyroid issues. They may not be able to do as much fasting. Simple things for the listeners. Everyone should be able to do at least a 12-hour fast. So whether your last meal is at 8 p.m., you can have breakfast at 8 a.m. the next day. That can be an easy 12-hour way to get some of that cellular autophagy recycling. I'm just curious, how are you applying fasting to your brain healing program?
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I also eat 1 or 2 meals a day, usually 2 meals. And I eat breakfast and dinner usually. So, but then sometimes I'll fast. And here's the deal with when I fast when I don't feel like eating,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't think I need a meal right now. Like, I'm just going to drink water, and that's how I'll fast. If I feel like eating, you better believe I'm eating.
And you're making sure you're getting enough nutrition during the day as well. So those meals, if you're doing 2 meals a day, they have to be big meals. They're not they got to be very purposeful with lots of phytonutrients, a lot of good fat, right? So you really got to make sure you get enough calories, i.e., nutrients, to sustain yourself, right?
Yes, absolutely. Especially the produce and protein. I mean, all of that. Like for the brain health, I will have just a massive salad or 2 or 3 of them with some nice healthy grass-fed, pasture-raised or wild-caught protein meat, and then lots of fats and oils on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll do, and I often do a bone broth fast as well.
That's great.
Yes, it's great. We got the electrolytes, we got the protein in there, and it's a nice like cleansing. It feels great. You'll notice if you do a bone broth fast, especially if you add in some fats and oils to that. It feels great. I have great clarity from that.
That's awesome. And then do you take any extra hydrochloric or acid or enzymes to help with the digestion, or do you feel like you're able to process everything really well?
I don't, but some of my clients do. I'm pretty good at this point.
Are you working with a lot of patients now?
I am. Actually, I'm out here, and one of my clients, her son is at Revive. And so I just happened to be coming through, and I was like, this is great. I'll be able to see you and meet your family and hang out with you guys. And it's so good to see them, and then to see how we can optimize their recovery. Because honestly, when this is a family that is going to the best. They went to the best neurorehabilitation clinic in the world that they could find, but it happened one of the best in the world, and it happened to be Shirley Ryan in Chicago, and that is one of the best according to the old model of neurology. And what we're doing, what I'm trying to do is improve the standard model of neurorehabilitation.
The standard model of rehabilitation, it's like you got a brain injury. It's like sit in a corner, turn the lights off, wear some sunglasses. Like, what else is there? They don't really do much in the mainstream medical system for brain injuries or concussions, or even that matter of fact. I've talked with Dr. Russell Teams, who works with Dr. Brandon Brock. They're affiliated with Carrick, and we talked about just comparing the 2 models, and you don't have many options on the conventional side, but there's a ton of models where we, all the neurological exercises that you mentioned, all of the diet and lifestyle strategies, and then all of the supplementation, whether you're doing supplements to help with the NRF2 pathways, whether it's green tea or resveratrol or acetylcholine or various antioxidant extracts to help with mitochondrial recovery. So many more options, so many more tools in our tool belt, right?
Absolutely. There's so much we can do. And I mean, they weren't catching his hormones or pituitary function or a lot of things that we can test for to see like where we are in the pathways, because his core is too weak, like let's put him in more physical therapy. Well, he's not, and this is an example, like, well, this patient isn't producing human growth hormone, right? So
Right.
like we need to fix that before, like, we can exercise until the cows come home, but if we don't have the ingredients, it doesn't really matter.
Exactly, right? We need oxygen, we need stimulation, and we need essentially blood flow to make everything work, right? And if you're chronically inflamed and the nervous system, that connectivity is weak, then it's going to be hard to get all those muscles communicating, right? So that totally makes sense what you're saying. And if people want to get a hold of you, Cavin, because they have some kind of issue they want to work out and they want to work with someone that's been in the trenches like you, how can they reach you?
So you can go to my website, feedabrain.com/consult, or adventuresinbraininjury.com/consult. And you can email me at consult@feedabrain or at Adventures in Brain Injury, and just let me know what's going on. And then if I think that we can have a powerful chat together, a good discovery call, I'll send you a calendar link and we'll schedule a free consultation.
I think that's great, because I think people need hope that someone's been there before, and then if they've been there before, they can help you navigate through it, which I love. I think that's great. And I want to get a sense, number one, I want to just know, what are some of the supplements that you've done on the neurological side to improve your brain and performance? And then last but not least, if there's anything else that you've done that we haven't been able to touch in this conversation, what's that next thing that you did that was a big needle mover?
No, man, there's a lot there.
I know. So, let's start with supplements first. Then I'll come back to the other one again.
So supplements, I actually have a handout on feedabrain.com. Like if you scroll down to the middle of the page, you get 5 supplements that I take, and I'll tell you what they are also. So we have omega-3s, specifically ones high in DHA and EPA. I'm especially EPA, especially DHA. I just confused things.
Right. So the EPA is going to be the 20 carbon. That's the one that's going to help with inflammation. And you're saying DHA, the docosahexaenoate, that's for the neurological health, right?
Right. And I mean, if you have inflammation in your brain, you definitely want EPA. And of course, they come together and they work synergistically. So if you have both, it's awesome. So and that comes mostly from fish oils. But if you get a fish oil and you look on the back and it doesn't tell you what the EPA and DHA ratio amounts are, that's not what you want.
Are you using the one from Apex?
I'm not. No, I'm.
Which company? Carlson's or?
No, I'm using right now. I'm using Zymogen.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good product.
Yeah, it's excellent. Good. Yeah, the DHA one.
Really What's next? What's next on your list?
Next, organ meat supplements.
Ooh, love it.
Because organ meats are awesome if you have a taste for them, or But honestly, I travel all the time, and it's hard to get organ meats, or like I'm staying with a friend. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna cook some organ meats, and they're like, you're gonna do what? Not here, you aren't. And so I get supplements. So there's this company called Ancient Nutrition, I'm sorry, Ancient Supplements. Ancient Nutrition is like
Axon's company. Yeah,
Ancient Supplements. And you can go there. You can use coupon code FEEDABRAIN for I think 10 or 15% discount.
Oh, cool.
On there, and they make it. They have all sorts of different organ meats because a lot of companies, or the companies that do this, usually do beef liver, and that's it. And the fact is, we evolved eating all of those organs. So getting a variety of different organ meats is really important as well. So I really like what they do. They have different kinds of organ meats, and they also have one that's like a blend. So that's another one where, if you don't eat organ meat every day, that's a great option.
Love it. And then with the organ meats, we're getting what? We're getting B12. We may get some extra iron in there. We may get some fat-soluble vitamin A in there. What other powerful nutrients are in organ meats outside of those that I just said?
You're also getting choline, which
choline?
is super important for all sorts of neurotransmitters.
Egg yolks are great for choline. What else?
They are. Uridine as well. And uridine is also one of the nutrients for synaptogenesis that I talk about in the book. Because uridine is created in the pathway. It can be created from choline, but it's kind of limited. When we include uridine monophosphate, it just enhances neuroplasticity a great deal.
Awesome. And I think that's also a building block for your RNA too, right?
Yes, it is.
Great. What's next?
All right. So organ meats. Sea vegetables. So
iodine.
Sea vegetables, for your iodine, right? Because the majority of the iodine Americans get are from iodized salts, which isn't really an optimal. It's not very close to food, right? So we can do so much better with sea vegetables, and switching up what kinds of sea vegetables you get is also really cool. So I actually suggest 2 different supplements. One is a kelp supplement. One is a dulse supplement, and I recommend alternating between the 2.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Probiotics. I like probiotics as well.
For gut health, right? Because remember, right? The gut's the second brain. I'm just curious, how much success did you have healing your brain by focusing on the gut? What did you notice?
Extreme. When I said the nutritional protocol that Culleton put me on, that was the leaky gut protocol. So I was supplementing with leaky gut healing compounds, like glutamine and marshmallow root extract.
Yeah.
And then I was also supplementing a little bit for my brain with like alpha GPC and some other and some B vitamins to support my brain health. And then an elimination diet to heal my digestion, and that's when I regained clarity. That changed everything. It changed everything.
And I saw on your Feed Brain website, you interviewed Dr. Karazian, and Dr. Karazian lectured before talking about how brain injuries can actually create leaky gut. So I imagine by helping the brain, you also have to fix the gut, because you probably developed a leaky gut with the brain injury, right?
Do we have time for me to rock an analogy here?
Yeah.
So, all right. So absolutely right about brain injury screwing up digestion. I mean, basically, your brain's the puppet master, right? Everything is a puppet, right? So your brain controls everything in your body. And so if you bonk your head and you screw up the communication between your brain and your gut, like now we're having some problems with digestion. So intestinal permeability or leaky gut is extremely common with brain injuries or any neurological condition, actually. Alzheimer's, they said, can be what is it? Constipation is so common with Alzheimer's. It's one of the biggest telltale signs of neurodegeneration.
Great information.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to mention? I didn't hear you mention too many antioxidant compounds. What's your take on those, like curcumin or resveratrol or the green tea extracts? What's your take?
I'm a huge fan of them in stages when you need them. I prefer to get my antioxidants from diet at this point, from my food, by eating produce and antioxidant rich foods.
Of course.
But of course, resveratrol is great.
What moved the needle for you? Because I get there's a lot of theoretical things. Which things did you incorporate into your protocol that helped, or that you saw maybe a palpable improvement on?
Well, at what point are you talking about?
I would just say you can just be very broad in it. Early on this helped, but long term this has been better.
Right. Let's see. I mean, overall, healing my gut was fantastic.
Of course.
And then moving towards ketogenic and moving towards a healthy version of the paleo diet, because paleo is a great template for me. But I wanted to go further because, as we talked about, there's a lot of paleo junk food. So narrowing in on the nutrients and really writing the book really gave me a really clear idea. It helped me to solidify exactly what I was doing to optimize my brain function. And the book really just is the resource that I wish I had, as I was going through dietarily to figure out what I could do to feed my brain optimally. So it's hard to say like one or two things. Get the book. Check it out.
Awesome, man. Feedyourbrain.com.
No, Feed a Brain.
Feedabrain.com. And then we have your podcast, Adventures in Brain Injury. We'll put the links below, everyone. Cavin, is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up here?
Man, you talked about my interview with Dr. Karazian. So that was for the Feed a Brain interview series, which was a dream come true for me. I got to interview the top brain and nutrition experts of our time. Some of the top brain and nutrition experts of our time.
Totally.
I don't want to offend anybody.
No, this is great. This is great information out there. Anyone listening that's dealt with any of these type of issues and wants to walk with someone through their journey, and Cavin's could be a great fit for you. So reach out to him. Cavin, amazing having you, man. Are you going to be at PaleoFX this month?
Yeah, man. I'll be there. I'll see you.
All right, man. Hey, I'll look you up. It was phenomenal chatting with you. You have an awesome night, and have a safe trip back to Austin, too.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Take care, man.
Got a question for Dr. J? Go to BeyondWellnessRadio.com and click the questions button. Then tune in to hear the answer. Also, if you like the show, click below to review us on iTunes. For more Beyond Wellness Radio, go to BeyondWellnessRadio.com.